All right, let's see. Hello, welcome back to Inspired to Thrive Empowerment Summit with a new expert for you guys. I told you, I got you. So, I would love to introduce this beautiful lady that's just literally full of energy. Her name is Stevie Wright, and she is a self love coach that focuses on truly helping you heal and working through anxiety, as well as some other tips and tricks that she has for us. So, I'm going to throw it over to her so she can introduce herself.
Thank you, Melissa. Hi, everybody. My name is Stevie, and yeah, I'm a self-love coach. I specialize in helping women heal their anxiety. I'm a breathwork facilitator, and I really just anything that has to do with healing work or in personal development is my jam.
Okay, right on, right on. And this girl, if you guys know her or haven't been on her Instagram yet, she is literally filled with so much energy. So go on there. It's just like you get a wonderful vibe as you kind of scroll through her feed. So
Yeah.
definitely someone to follow. And beautiful, beautiful lady, I would love to kind of ask you where you started from and how you decided to get into this work.
Sure. So the year was 19. No, I'm kidding.
I like it already.
No. Okay. So I think my journey kind of started about 4 years ago. I I've told this story on podcasts and different interviews before, but I was at a point in my life where I was really going through kind of what I like to call a quarter life crisis. I think I was 20, 22, 23 at the time, and was just really feeling lost. Was just super feeling like I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. Was feeling really like, I mean, what 22-year-old doesn't feel like that? But it just felt really heavy at the time, and was working a dead end job, was really playing small, was not using my gifts at all, and first of all, also treating my body like crap, like just was not taking care of myself at all. And this one kind of pivotal moment where I remember I came home from work. It was in the evening, and I was just watching Mindy Project, like the fourth season or the fourth episode for that night, which was normal. And I was like wrist deep in an ice cream carton, and I was like, Stevie, like there is no way that this is all you have to do with your life. There's no way that this is what you're all that you're good for. And so I didn't know what my path was. It wasn't like I was like, that's what I'm going to do. It wasn't like that. I still was didn't know what I was going to do with my life, but I knew that I had to take responsibility and take some action, because how small I was playing was not going to work. Um, and so I knew the first step was going to be my health, because my health had gotten pretty out of whack. And I got into like Whole Foods, and just started reading a bunch of health books and things like this, and lost not a crazy amount of weight. I wasn't overweight or anything, but I lost a good amount of extra weight that I was carrying. My skin cleared up, my hormones balanced out, and so it was through this kind of process of me getting healthy and healing my body that I was like, wait a second, I'm good at I'm good at like being healthy now. I'm good at helping people. I'm good at inspiring people. And I had just watched a documentary called Food Matters on Netflix,
Mhm.
and the filmmakers were health coaches. And I'd never heard of that before. I didn't even know that was a thing. And I stayed up one night till like 3 a.m. looking up health coaching and different schools I could go to. And I signed up for my health coaching program the next day.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, it was just like I have to do this. And so, and I'm giving you the real short version, but so went through this health coaching program, did about a year of doing that, started seeing clients after that. And through my process of seeing clients, had a kind of another realization where I was like, wait a second, like these women are coming to me. We're doing 6-month programs. We are, trying to get them healthy. We're making lifestyle changes, and they're coming to me, 3 months in, and once we build a rapport, and they're telling me about trauma. They're telling me about old wounding. They're telling me about like some really, heavy shit that I didn't not know how to help them with, nor was I qualified. And so it was this moment where I was like, it was really an internal thing too, because they were mirroring me. It was like, for myself, I can eat all the kale salad recipes in the world, and that's not going to heal my heart. That's not going to that's not going to help me with all the anxiety I still have.
Mhm.
You know, I got really healthy, and I got my body, in check, but I still was having so much anxiety. I was still feeling so unworthy. I still was afraid to charge my worth. I had all these things that I still was being crippled under, like the weight of lack of self-love. And so my clients were mirroring this to me, and they were telling me about their traumas and their things that I couldn't help them with. And it was like, okay, I need to learn how to help you with that stuff. I need to learn to help you with these deeper issues, because again, I could give you all the lifestyle tips and the recipes in the world, and that's not going to help you heal your heart.
True, true, true.
And so it was this moment where I was like, okay, let's reconfigure here. I had to swallow my ego. I stopped taking health coaching clients. I got a job. I found a beautiful, beautiful, it was incredibly life-changing, a certification program that would teach me how to do this deeper healing work and how to help people with self-love and unworthiness and anxiety. And in the same breath, help myself,
Mhm.
because we can only take someone as far as we've gone ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think the best coaches are the ones who don't take the coach hat off at the end of the day, but they are their work, they embody their work. And so I spent about a year and a half going through this program and really just figuring out, first of all, where's my anxiety come from? Where does my self-worth, issues come from? Why do I have a lack of self-love? Why do I, behave? Why do I have the codependency? Why do I need the validation from others? Like all of these wounding things that I had no idea why I had, and that they're even really there, start to unfold. And therefore was started taking clients after that, and it's been a beautiful journey. And now with my women that I help, it's like we can do deep, deep, deep healing work, and a 6-month program, their life is completely different than if they change their lifestyle with some recipes.
Right on, girl.
That's the short story.
I dig it though. I dig it. And I honestly feel like, kind of, even for myself, like going through this journey of becoming a coach was like, I went through this journey of healing myself and then took the time to kind of add that to how I can give to others. But I really feel like, even though, like when you said you sign up for that coaching program, it's like you're not just only signing up for that coaching program to help people. It's like literally transitioning your life in that same way.
Yeah, it was also for me.
Yeah. And it's true down to the point where it's like, yes, you can change your diet. Yes, you can eat well. But if you're not willing to look internal, you're not really fully able to step into your true power. And because so many of my years of my life, I always just focused on like eating well and dieting and things like that. But like there's other parts of me that just weren't, they're just still broken.
Yeah.
And until I finally was just like, okay, it's not about all just dieting and like eating clean and healthy. What are you feeling inside? What's going through your mind? What do you have to like work on that's maybe perhaps in your past that's still coming into this light right now? And then that's when I was really able to step into my true power, and figure it out by healing my relationship with myself, was me being able to go that next mile that I didn't even know I could go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So kudos to you for doing that, girl. I love it. I love it. I love being in the coach space because not only do we get to help so many other females, but just seeing the other people like yourself that did that work for themselves, but now can take it and help so many other people is like, as you were saying your story, it was just like warming my heart. I was like, so thank you, thank you, thank you for what you do. And of course, we're going to get into it so she can help you too. Okay, so then I do want to touch on one of the things that you said. You kind of figured out where your anxiety was coming from. So if you can kind of, do you have any tips if someone is in the midst of like kind of going through the process to kind of pinpoint where it's coming from or kind of start the process into that?
Yeah. So anxiety is it's a special thing because anxiety isn't actually the problem. It's what's under the anxiety that's the problem. The root cause of anxiety is fear. And it's kind of like the anticipation. It's the anticipation of something bad happening. And so this could be as easy as like going to the dentist. I have fear of going to the dentist. That causes anxiety. Or it's like old wounding of, I'm, making this up, of like, parents who were always like helicopter parents, and the world is to be feared and the world is scary and you're going to be dead in a ditch. That was actually my story. You're going to be dead in a ditch and all these kinds of things. And so it is sets us up for failure in a sense, because we think the world is bad and a scary place to be. So I think that the first step to always kind of start with is, and it sounds so simple and not groundbreaking at all, is meditation.
Okay.
If you're not sitting in stillness and if you're not getting quiet, it's going to be really hard to figure out what is it that you're scared of. What's the fear telling you? And I think the problem with our culture right now is that we don't think we can handle our pain. And so when we have when we have pain, when we have intense feelings, when we have intense emotions, our normal reaction is to stuff it and to numb it. And that could be, as extreme as like drugs and alcohol, but it also could be Instagram.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It could also be TV. It could be food. That's a major one, right? It could be, it could be so many things. And so we do these things to numb, and we use food as a drug. We use social media as a drug. We use drugs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we stuff down and numb, because we think, if I feel this, it'll kill me. If I open this can of worms, it'll break me. And if I open this can of worms, I'm not gonna be able to close it again. I hear that a lot. Like, if I open this, I'm not gonna be able to close it again.
Okay.
And so it's what we have to realize is that it's not true that we can't handle our pain. Our bodies, they've been made out to be the enemy. Like they've been made out to feel like they're not a safe place to be, but in fact, they're the safest place to be, the absolute safest place to be. And we can trust that our bodies aren't going to give us anything we can't handle. So we can trust that our bodies aren't going to give us too much too soon. If we have, some big trauma that we haven't dealt with yet, it's not going to go from 0 to 10 and just, be a horrible, like, most painful thing ever. It's going to give it to you in increments. But the problem is that we don't trust that it's not going to be that we can handle it, that we can even handle the increments. Mm-hmm. So we just keep numbing and numbing and numbing. And anxiety is just fear that comes out wonky.
Okay.
It's not the anxiety's fault. It's like the anxiety is the symptom of the fear, of the depression, of the intense feelings that we're not willing to feel. And so our anxiety comes out sideways. It comes out as anxiety, which is coming out wonky and sideways, which it's not really the issue.
Okay.
People say they have anxiety disorders. And, I question that. And I don't want to, I hold space for people's, diagnoses and things, but I also want to inquire about, is it that you have an anxiety disorder, or is it that there's some underlying pain that we haven't gotten into yet? That's what I would. So to answer your question, so meditation, I think that having a coach or a therapist to kind of dig into this stuff, get to help you with a perspective you might not see, is really helpful. But the first place that I start with my clients, and where I started myself, is inner child work. And for anyone who's listening and doesn't know what inner child work is, or hasn't heard of this concept, it's essentially the childhood version of you. So it's Melissa, it's your 3-year-old version of you. It's your 5-year-old version of you. It's your 17-year-old version of you. It's the version of us that has taken on all the wounding, all the limiting beliefs, all the trauma of our childhood. Okay? And so if we are not connected to her, if we're not meeting her needs, then she is throwing a tantrum internally, and she is running the show. So my 3-year-old, who dealt with abandonment and dealt with all these different things, if she's not attended to, and if she's not taken care of and loved in the present by myself as an evolved woman, then she is going to be throwing an internal tantrum, and it's going to be trigger city. Of course you're going to have anxiety because she's not being taken care of. And so we have to be the good parents to ourselves that maybe we didn't get as a child. Now, I don't mean that. I think people confuse this. Like, I've had a really happy childhood. My parents are great. That's beautiful. This is not about like looking for something that's not there.
Yeah.
But what I do ask people is, great, you had a beautiful childhood. Your parents are awesome. You're super close with them. Then just ask yourself, how did you receive love? Did you get like praise and receive love when you got a good grade? Did you get praise and receive love when you were a good girl? Did you get praise and receive love when you won at sports, when you won awards? So if so, these are we don't have to have some horrible, crazy trauma in order to be to do inner child work. Even these small things are little t trauma, in the sense of we grow up and we think, oh, I have to be the best, I have to win the awards, I have to achieve, I have to hustle, I have to grind in order to receive love and praise. I have to be a good girl, I have to shut up, I can't speak my truth in order to receive love and praise. So we take the ways that we receive love as little kids and we use those same techniques as adults. And so inner child work for you, not for you specifically, but like for someone who has little t trauma, is asking like, what could she have really used as a kid? Could she have used someone to just say, I love you unconditionally, no matter what? Okay, great. Then that's the work that you have to do for yourself in meditation, in the day-to-day, like when you're feeling triggered, putting your arms around yourself, giving yourself a hug and talking to her. But I think, so often that we're not connected with her. We're not connected with our inner children. And so she's kind of running rampant. Yeah. That was a long answer, but I hope that answered some questions.
It was an amazing answer, very detailed. And you kind of just opened up a whole space. And I truly think that getting back to the point of like checking out how your child was, like how you were as a child, because recently this year I did some inner work within myself and like went back to those memories that I had that were, I didn't realize they were kind of triggering my life still, but I figured it out this year. And my thing was more of like, I'll put it out here, I don't have any shame kind of telling my story, but I grew up with a single mom, and I still had like one distinct memory of my dad coming to my house, and he didn't even come in to say hi to me. And I was looking at him through the window, and that shit still followed me till like literally just working it out this year. But it was like, it kind of triggered me of like not feeling worthy for things or deserving, or like kind of just like the own person that, made you.
Yeah.
So it like, and me working that out, like there was a crazy abundance of just light and like even a weight that just like got lifted off of me. So inner work, y'all. Yeah. It truly helps. And I mean, I know sometimes you might not feel like you want to do that work because you're scared of what can come up, and you never know. But the thing is, at the same time, is think about where you can move to when you kind of do that work and just allow yourself to truly connect with all parts of you.
Yeah. And also you don't have to do it on your own, like I think the most helpful benefit, or excuse me, the most helpful investment I've ever made was my therapist and my coach, like to really have some support as I'm doing this deep work that can be scary sometimes, and it can feel uncomfortable. And just knowing that if you do decide to open the can of worms, so to speak, like you're not in it alone, and there's so much help to be had with this work.
True. I agree with that. There's so many people out there that can like help you, and it's, if you know that it's something that you're getting to the point where you're just like, you can't work it out within yourself, it's like, take those extra steps. And even if you're not sure, still take those extra steps, because you never know how just sharing your journey with someone else truly just brightens it.
Yeah.
I always say that. It's like before I was the type of person where I can do everything alone. I don't need anyone else. But once I opened that door and I was just like, I do need people. People can help me. People are like here to jump on my journey with me as I'm here to jump on their, like I was always up to jump on anyone else's journey, but try to jump on my journey? No way.
It's like and this is, a lot of women do this. We do this for ourselves. We don't allow ourselves to receive help.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that receiving thing. It's like, how good are we going to let it get? How good are we going to be at receiving? And it's hard sometimes because then it's like we think, I'm not sure if this is your story, but maybe the receiving help shows that I'm weak or something.
Yes, yes, and yes.
I know that one.
I know that one way too well.
Yeah, but it's, if we can, change that story of like, it actually takes so much strength.
Mm-hmm. It does.
To get help, and it takes so much, it takes, swallowing the pride, and it takes strength. It's actually the strongest thing we could do, to say, hey, I can't do this on my own.
Yep.
Yeah. It's the farthest thing from weakness we can do.
I agree with you in so many ways. And I feel like even to me getting to this point that I am today with like healing my relationship with food, bulimia, binge eating, and things like that, it was me stepping out of that zone and knowing that I needed help and allowing someone else to help me on my journey, which really helped me progress. So it's like, I don't even know if I didn't take that leap, I don't know where I would be. I might still be kind of fighting myself through it. Yeah. So I'm glad that I sucked that up and I was like, girl, you need some help.
I hear you. Yeah. When I was doing my coaching program, it was so in depth, but then I realized, and it's a group program. So I realized like, man, I need some one-on-one help. And that was when it was like, okay, therapy, here we go. And it was so helpful to, and it honestly made me a better coach.
Mm-hmm.
It makes us a better coach when we do our own work. And again, like with that embodiment and the integration, we can't just, it's not an effective coach to just spew, to repeat what we've learned.
Yeah.
We have to come, help people from a place of understanding.
Exactly. Yeah.
And not going through it ourselves, yeah.
No, I agree. I definitely agree with you. It's like that level of connection gets deeper once you kind of just, because I've had coaches that just regurgitate things to you, and I'm like, why am I paying you? Like we're not even. There's no connection here. It's like sitting in a room with like 40 people, but it's just like one-on-one. So I agree. When coaches do kind of the deeper work and just realize that people that they're helping are people and genuinely need like that kind of connection and love, and just people like to be coached differently, but I know that just as kind of coaches, you can mingle with how people like the vibes of people. I'm kind of woo-woo, don't mind me.
Oh yeah. I'm the same. I'm the same way. Take it or leave it.
Right. So then I have another question. So I've seen people very close to me kind of have truly, truly strong anxiety. And I've gone through kind of literally working it out with them, like on the phone, trying to calm them down. So are there any tips that you can give, like maybe when someone's just like truly, truly deep in it in that moment, to try to come out of it and try to kind of soothe their self from it?
Yeah. There's two things that I would, depending on how deep, like if they're in a panic attack, that's different than just, a different kind of lingering anxiety. So I would say one is, there's a tool I really love to use called observation versus identification. And it's helpful because, so I hear a lot of people say, I'm so anxious. Oh my God, I'm so anxious. I'm so anxious. I'm so anxious. And I have to argue with that and say, no, you're not. Because you, Melissa, are not anxiety. You yourself are not the sensation, like the feeling of anxiety.
Mhm.
right? And so it's not helpful to say, I'm so anxious, because we're identifying with it as if it is us, it is our own, we own it, it's ours,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And when we're identifying with it, it's like we're smacked up against it. We're so close to it. There's no space to realize what's going on. And so what you can do with observer is be like, wait a second, I am not my anxiety. Let me observe this for a second. Let me take a bird's eye view, you know, and realize that I am not my anxiety. I experience the sensation of anxiety, but it is not me. It is not mine. So once you can get into observation mode, you have that bird's eye view. It's almost like you're watching your life, and your life is the movie, but you're in the theater watching. And that way you're not like, oh my God, I'll make the thing, I'm so anxious, I'm so anxious. You can sit back for a moment, take a breath, and say, okay, I'm feeling really goddamn anxious right now. I'm experiencing some anxiety. Whew, okay, let me just take a step back from it. And then from this place, just from this space, then you can start getting curious.
Mhm.
Then you can start asking questions like, what am I afraid of right now? Is this true, what I'm afraid of?
Mhm.
Is this mine? Sometimes we pick up the shit that's not even ours,
Yep.
you know? And then you can start asking, am I safe? Am I safe in this moment? It's like then when you have that observer role, and you can not identify with it, and you not take it on as your own, then you can start asking the curious, the inquiring questions about the anxiety, and and asking it, what is it here to teach you? But when we're in pain, and when we're in this heightened emotion,
Mhm.
we always want to ask, is this true? Speaking like, meaning like, is it okay? I'm afraid that I'm gonna die. Okay, is it true that I'm gonna die? No. Is that really true? No. Is this true? Is this mine? Did I pick it up from Janice at work, who's an anxiety monkey, right? Or right? Or is it really, is it mine? And am I safe? Am I safe in this moment? Am I safe here at my desk? Am I safe here in the car? Am I safe here at home on the couch watching this movie? Yeah, I am safe, right? But we can't ask these questions if we're like, it's me, it's mine, I own it, this is mine, this is my burden to bear. It's like, no, it's not. Don't identify with it. If you're identifying with it, you're never going to be able to not feel it, because you can't ask the curious questions,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Does that
Um,
make sense?
I love that. I absolutely love the way that you kind of broke it down. And I love that just the ability to kind of take yourself out of it. And I truly feel like as I've kind of interviewed people just with even in all the different topics, like it kind of goes to the being able to observe yourself as well as awareness. And it's like all connected.
Yeah.
It's just like truly being aware of your actions and knowing that you can take control of it again by just allowing yourself to show up and view it in a different way, different perspective, as you were saying. Um, so that's actually beautiful. I love, not actually beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love it. I love it. I love it. Um, yeah. Oh my God. I
Yeah.
know.
And the second one that I was going to say is, I guess it's like a two-parter, is if you're there's kind of there's kind of the point of no return. Like if you're in an anxiety attack and you're like totally panicking, then it's hard to sometimes have the awareness to step out of identification. So if you're coming from that place, I would say the two biggest things you can do are breath and movement.
Okay.
So if you're in a total freaking out, and if someone has a panic attack, taking deep breaths, and it's gonna feel uncomfortable, and you might feel short of breath, but you put one hand on your heart, you put one hand in your belly, if you close your eyes and you just focus on, what does it feel like, what does the air feel like going into my nostrils, what does it feel like the air coming out of my mouth, and just staying with that for 10 or so deep breaths. And then from that place, maybe you can move your body a little bit, maybe you can have dance a little bit. And this isn't we're not trying to mask it with like, oh yes, I'm so having fun, let me dance. It's really actually getting the energy out of the body.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as you were doing it. Like that's how I was kind of imagining just like seeing the energy kind of like flow into different parts. Yeah.
Yeah, and just moving. If that's slow, then you put on slow music. If that's fast, then you need to just get it out and just like be crazy and shake and everything. And that's good too. Whatever that feels like for you, but just moving it. It's like when an animal, when a dog shakes after he sees something scary, he kind of
Yeah.
he kind of perks up and then he shakes it off. They shake, right? It's the same thing. That is the animal's moving energy. So we have all
Okay.
this stuck energy and stagnant energy in the body that needs to move through, and we can do that with breath and movement.
Okay. Okay. I never realized that. Now every time I see a dog do that, you move that energy. You move
He's
that.
moving that energy.
Um,
um, yeah.
yeah. Okay. So then diving into breath work, I mean, I've heard the terms kind of going around, but I'm not as familiar with it. So would you care to share that with us?
Yeah, of course. So breath work is a beautiful, it's an ancient modality. It's like 3,000 years old. We've been doing it. A lot of Eastern cultures have been doing it forever. It's just starting to get really, really popular and modernized, which is really exciting because, dare I say, it is one of the most healing modalities in the world. And essentially what it is, there's all kinds of different types of patterns, but essentially it's using the breath in a certain type of pattern that gets in more oxygen to the body. And when there's that much oxygen in the body, essentially what happens is you are bypassing the ego and the mind.
Mhm.
And this is great because so much of our overthinking, our anxiety, our obsessing, our worry, I mean, all of it is up here,
Yeah.
right? All of it is up here. So when we do breath work, it gets us out of the body, out of the mind, and immediately into the body. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, out of the head, out of the mind, and immediately into the body,
Okay.
right? And so what happens when we're in the body is that's when we're able to um, let go of repressed emotion, heal old wounding, like release any stagnant energy. We're energetically open to receive new thought patterns, new ways of being, new messages, and it's such a beautiful. I mean, I have people crying, I have people screaming, I have people laughing hysterically, all the things. I have people shaking and doing all this crazy shit, and it's awesome because people are moving old wounding out. They're getting all this stagnant energy out, and it's honestly like getting rid of old beliefs. And we have it's getting high on your own supply. It feels like, if you've ever done drugs, it feels like that. It feels like doing mushrooms or something, because it's but what's cool about that is that we have this capability to reach these higher states of consciousness using only our breath.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so I feel like I didn't know that I was doing that, but I feel like I've been doing that lately because
Yeah.
I take like maybe just depending on how much time I usually do, like either 5 minutes or 10 minutes, just constant breathing. And I truly feel like a change within my brain, and just there's something that comes over me that just feels, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
But it feels like it's different than just the normal pattern of my brain thinking. It feels like calm and just like, I don't know how to explain it.
Oh, I hear you though. I hear you. It's when we have that much oxygen going into our brain, it really is. It's it, again, the only way I can describe it is it gets us out of the mind.
Okay.
So breath work is a beautiful, beautiful tool for people who are overthinkers, for people who have anxiety. Yeah, for people who for people who I'll do a session on you. It's amazing. Um, for people who feel like they are just a little bit stuck, it's such an awesome way to kind of get back into your body.
Okay, I dig that. I kind of I love everything that has to do with like connecting to your body. And I feel like it really helps you just tackle and come together, and just like all parts are just like, ah, we're here. So I dig that so much.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you for
yes.
sharing that. I want to dive more into that now. Definitely doing some research after this.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And it's also really great for people who feel like they're disconnected from their body. If someone has no idea what I'm talking about, like I what do you mean connect to your body? I only live in my head. Right? Breathwork is a great tool, because if you've been numb, if you've been numb for most of your life, and we've kind of are living from the neck up, then breathwork helps you get back into the body, and that's where the intuition lives. That's where the wisdom lives, right? And so if we're only my mentor always says this, and I love it, and I'll repeat it because I think it's beautiful. She always says, in order to heal, we have to feel. But we cannot think our way to healing. It doesn't work that way. We have to feel our way to healing.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of my work with my clients is a lot of body work. It's a lot of getting into the body. It's a lot of getting out of the mind. It's a lot of me helping them connect to their intuition and create sovereignty within themselves, knowing so that they can trust themselves. If that makes sense.
Damn, girl. Blew my mind. Well, clients, something new is coming to you guys. Something's definitely new coming to you guys. Literally, my heart's just like, I just feel it. Like, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
Thank
You're
you.
amazing. But we're not done yet.
Okay, not yet.
So I really wanted to kind of tap into self-love as well, because I know it's kind of like, I feel like it's going into like, yes, self-love is good, and no, it's just kind of like masking things. So I guess, what is your take on self-love, as well as what's the best approach to kind of beginning it?
Yeah. So self-love is such a buzzy word right now, right? It's like
Yeah.
self-love, 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 self-love. And which is great in a way, because we're talking about it. But self-love is not like, it's not affirmations. It's not bubble baths. It's not, you know, that's not what it is. And that's self-care. That's part of it. So people who love themselves do self-care, sure. But my definition of self-love, the way I see it, and this is just how I've experienced it, is self-love is a continual commitment to show up for yourself. And it's that commitment to deepening. And it's the commitment to saying, hey, I want to know more about myself, and I can handle whatever comes up. I'm trusting that I can handle whatever comes up. And so I think self-love, I said it before, I'll say it again. It's not profound. It's not groundbreaking. I think self-love is built in meditation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I really think it is. I think it's built in meditation. I think it's built in stillness. I think it's built in the learning and the curiosity. And then, I'll also say, I think self-love is also built as we're learning about ourselves, and we're deepening our self-love in meditation. Okay, then let's bring that into life. And self-love could look like speaking your truth, to your boss of something that doesn't work for you. Mm-hmm. Self-love is setting a boundary. Self-love is getting out of a toxic relationship is not serving you. Mm-hmm. Self-love is digging into your codependency and realizing, like, I'm safe on my own. Like, I don't have to worry about other people and manage other people. I'm safe in my body, right? But it's hard to feel that safety in our bodies if we don't have the self-love to kind of build the foundation. So, I mean, that's kind of my definition of self-love. It's like the continual commitment and the choice to show up for yourself. And I also don't think that self-love is always pretty. Mm-hmm. I really don't. I don't think that self-love is always this beautiful bow. It's wrapped up in a bow and kind of sent on our way. Self-love it's hard sometimes. It's like getting into the dirt and the muck and the crunchiness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not just I love myself. I love myself. I don't believe that's what self-love is. I think it really is a commitment to wanting to know more about yourself. And it's a commitment to meeting yourself with kindness and compassion. Because here's the thing. I think people bringing it back to anxiety real quick, I think people are so mad at their anxiety and they judge their anxiety and they're like, fuck, like what if, sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to.
Yeah, you're all
Okay. So it's sometimes people are like, like, God damn it. Like I have this anxiety. I hate my anxiety. They shame their anxiety. I wish I didn't have this. Let me go run this off. Let me go do more to get this anxiety to move away. And it's like, actually, the shame and the guilt and the punishment of yourself is never going to fix it. If you shame and judge and guilt yourself even more, it's not going to make the anxiety go away. What's going to make the anxiety soften is compassion and love. And that is self-love, I think, is meeting your shit with compassion and love over and over and over again instead of judging it.
True. Yes.
And it's also when you slip up, right? And you judge the shit out of yourself for having the anxiety, or you judge yourself for, quote unquote, saying the wrong thing, or you're judging yourself for whatever, then meeting yourself with love and compassion for judging yourself. It's like, self-love is always coming back to more love, not less, more love, not less.
I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig it. And I like everything you said is 100% point on. And I just like, as you were saying everything, I just really want to kind of comment on the energy and the way you kind of explain things and just your presence. It's amazing. It's freaking amazing. Yeah. Oh my God. It's absolutely amazing. Like, I feel like you have that, the way you explain things and kind of you have that ability just to make someone feel like everything's going to be okay.
Good.
You got this, girl.
I really, thank you so much for saying that. I really, really appreciate that compliment, because there was a time in my life where presence and I would never be called someone who has like grounding or present energy. And because I was just so like so heightened and so worried and so in fear that I couldn't ground at all. So thank you for saying that. That really means so much to me. It's one of the best compliments to receive.
Oh, you did the work, girl. It's all you. So you have given us so many things today, and I truly want to appreciate you for being here, and thank you for being here. And also, so I would love you to tell these beautiful people in the audience, or sitting at your computer, wherever you are, if they want to work with you, what do you offer, and how? And of course, I'll link all her links. But yeah, what do you offer so they can kind of move forward?
Yeah. I have all the things. I have a beautiful a 5-day self-love transformation challenge that it's awesome. I love it. And people get some beautiful results in just 5 days. That's free. I have a bunch of free meditations on my Instagram that you can get. I think the best place to start is my $97 anxiety masterclass, where we're taking all of this stuff that we just talked about and we're going even deeper. And it's the best thing I've ever created. It's not a course. It's really very much a masterclass. So the whole thing you could finish in a day, but there's so many beautiful gold nuggets of wisdom in it, of how to deal, heal, and transform your anxiety, how to deal with it in the moment, how to be proactive about it. And it's very affordable. I wanted to create something that everyone could really take advantage of. I offer breakthrough sessions, 60-minute breakthrough sessions. And I also offer, if you're looking for ongoing support, I offer 6-month one-on-one coaching containers, which that's for the big dogs who are ready to make some real transformation happen.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
I also feel like, as you said, kind of that masterclass. Even I'm thinking Christmas is coming, holidays are coming. And if you do have someone that might kind of struggle with anxiety, like, I love giving presents that actually help individuals. So think about that too. If you're not dealing with it, think about someone else that you can kind of put that light on as well. But yes, girl. Yes. Oh my God, you're amazing.
So much, Melissa. You are such a light, and I love that you are bringing all these incredible people together to help women. And honestly, I'm just so happy to be a part of it. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. Oh my God, everything about the summit warms the hell out of my heart. Even y'all watching it, because it means you guys are showing up for yourself and you guys want to make changes, which is beautiful as well. So Thank you. Thank y'all. You guys know I'm coming back with another expert, but that is it. And I will see you guys with the next one. So thank you for being on with us.
Yes. Bye, guys. Thank you.
You rock, girl.